The Masked Gondolier. On the following day, everything was as before in Venice. Some men were gay and others sad, some were busy and others did nothing. Life went on as usual. The servants stood around the gates of Donna Violetta's palace. None of them knew where the young lady was. The palace of Signor Gradenigo looked as gloomy as usual. The Bella Sorrentina still lay in the port. There were hundreds of fishermen's boats on the sea, and travellers came and left Venice. As the sun set, the gondolas of the nobles began to glide over the water. It was not so hot now, and the yard of the Doge's palace began to fill with senators and rich people. Among these came Don Camillo. He was as quiet as usual. Although he was sure that his plans were known to the Senate, he wanted to show that he was not afraid of them. He walked among the crowd and talked to other men, but many times he felt that he was watched secretly. It began to get dark when a gondola came slowly up to the palace of the Doge. The gondolier landed, tied his boat, and entered the yard. He had a mask on. He looked around and entered the building by a secret door. The masked gondolier soon returned to his boat. It took him a minute to cross the canal, to land and enter the door of the prison. It seemed that there was somebody in the prison building who opened all the doors for him. The man quickly passed to the part of the building which looked like the home of a family. He came down a small staircase and knocked at the door of the keeper's room. "Who is there?" asked a woman's voice. "A friend," was the answer. "Say who you are or go away." "It's me. Open the door, Gelsomina." The door was opened at once. "I did not recognize you, Carlo," said the girl. "You always change your voice." The gondolier looked around to make sure they were alone, then he took off his mask. "Have you anything new?" he asked. "It's a good thing you did not come in a few minutes ago," she answered. "I have just had a visitor." "Who was it?" "My cousin, Annina. You have never seen her. She comes here very seldom." "Have you got anything else to tell me?" "Annina may return any moment." "Is she still here, then?" asked the man. "You know she must not see me." "Don't be afraid. When she enters, she will touch that bell. She is above with my sick mother. When she comes, you can go into the next room, as you always do." "I can wait." "Hush! It is my cousin's step. Hide!" While she spoke, a small bell rang. The man stepped into the next room. At the same moment, Gelsomina opened the other door and let in her visitor. At the first sound of her voice, the man recognized the daughter of the wine seller. "Your mother is better, Gelsomina," said Annina as she sat down. "Why didn't you come to the square yesterday?" "I couldn't leave you here alone." "It is a pity," Annina said. "The Doge's marriage, the sea and the regatta were wonderful. Tell me everything about the race." "Oh, Venice has never seen such a brave regatta, but the strangest thing of all was that the race was won by a poor fisherman. He was an old man in the poorest clothes, and his boat looked very poor indeed." "The other boatmen were weak then?" "The best of Venice. There was a masked man among them. They say he was Jacopo. Have you heard of him?" "I have heard of that Bravo. Did he dare to show himself among the nobles on such a holiday?" "He did." "Strange are the ways of our country. That man walks among the crowd and nobody says anything to him." "Indeed. Once I saw as he stood waiting for someone near the Doge's palace." "Maybe he knows some terrible secret which they are afraid he will tell." "It is dangerous to know any secrets here. This morning I saw the body of a young noble. They fished him out of the water. Those who were near the body said that it had the mark of the Bravo's hand." Gelsomina grew pale. "This Bravo is a terrible man," she said in a trembling voice. "Indeed, but I sit here talking to you when they need me at home. Give me the parcel, child, that I left with you on my last visit." "Here it is," answered Gelsomina as she opened a box and took out a small parcel. "I wanted to send it to you." "Gelsomina, if you love me, never do such a thing. If my brother sees this parcel, it will bring me into great trouble. Goodbye, good Jacina. I hope your father will at last allow you to come and visit us." "Goodbye, Anina. You know that I want to come, but I cannot leave my sick mother." Anina waved her hand and left the room. "Carlo," Gelsomina called. "You can come out." The man came out. He looked paler than usual. "I see Anina has made you tired with her foolish talk," smiled Gelsomina. "Is this girl your cousin?" "Yes, our mothers are sisters." "And she comes here often?" "Not very often." "And you have visited her too?" "Never. My father does not allow me." "And that parcel, have you kept it for a long time?" "A month. Anina left it on her last visit." "But why these questions? You do not like my cousin. She likes to talk, but she has a good heart. You heard how she spoke of that terrible Bravo Jacopo and of his bad deeds?" "I did." "A terrible man, isn't he? Shall I lead you to the cell?" "Go on." The girl turned away to open a little box from which she took a key. "This is the key, Carlo," she said, "and I am now alone here." The man tried to smile. The next moment, they left the room.